On that note, Thanasi, it's now time for us to give our payback predictions. Now, at the time of recording, 6 matches have been announced. So let's get straight into it. And the first match is Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. Who have you got?
Look, I don't think there's any controversy in saying that the man is going to take this one out. I mean, this should have happened at SummerSlam, but the culmination is happening here. Becky Lynch.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's not Becky Lynch isn't exactly the youngest talent in the world, but she's the young talent in this case. So you should be putting over the younger talent, in my opinion, in this particular scenario. The next match we've got is Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the WWE United States Championship. I'm going to go in first, and I'm going to predict Rey Mysterio retains this, and this is purely based on the fact that he very recently won it, and he's facing the champion in which he beat. So I just feel that in terms of making sense, it would be better suited for him to lose it to a fresh opponent.
You can put a +1 on that for me as well. I completely agree with that logic, and I do think that he's going to retain, maybe with Santos Escobar coming more into the fold this time.
Next up, we've got LA Knight versus The Miz. This is one of the matches I'm actually very excited for because just two entertainers being put out in the ring, and I think they're gonna have lots of fun together. And I think LA Knight is going to get the win here. I think that this is part of them building him up and giving him some victories ahead of a push. Maybe I'm being optimistic there, but I just feel with all the fan support he's getting, that's the way it's going. And I see where do you stand on this one?
Look, I'd like to say that this is the beginning of his push and is going to go on, but I think knowing WWE, they're going to find some kind of a way for The Miz to get the victory here, and that's why I'm predicting The Miz. Hopefully, though, with Retribution coming down the track, perhaps on a slightly bigger stage, I don't know, maybe a Survivor Series.
Okay, well that's an interesting take. We'll see how it plays out. The next match we've got is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day in the form of Damian Priest and Finn Balor in a Steel City Street Fight tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. How do you see this one playing out?
Look, I think ordinarily I'd be going for the Judgment Day here. I feel like that's the right way to go. However, WWE has advertised Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defending the belts against Indus Sher at Superstar Spectacle, I think it's called. It's going to be like a network special.
In India, right?
In India, that's right. So therefore, based on that kind of a spoiler, I'm going to go with my faves, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
I wish I could disagree truly because you know how much I hate it when we're on the same page. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I think that this is probably going to play out more dissension in the ranks between the two. Although I will say, I would be genuinely up for seeing them somehow win this, and then they have to deal with their beef whilst being the champions.
Hey, look, I would like to say I'm a sucker for factions having all the belts, right? And this would be a really special one because it would be an instance where we've got the woman as the world champion, right? A real step in the right direction for that kind of equality. So we actually have a women's world champion, an NXT mid-carder, and tag belts.
Speaking of Rhea Ripley, the women's world champion, that's the next match. It's her facing off against Raquel Rodriguez. How do you see this one going? Is it
100% Rhea Ripley is winning? Are you kidding me? Like there is no question about this. Raquel Rodriguez is being fed to Mummy.
okay? Well, I don't think it's being fed. I think the way they presented these two, I'm actually genuinely curious to see these two behemoths of the women's division actually going up against each other. But I agree, Rhea Ripley is going to retain. I think they should honestly have her hold it at the very least until the next Mania. Just let her be the champ. She's doing such a great job of it. This now takes us into the main event of Payback as far as we're aware. And it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight Championship. Can I say, is it a Shinsuke win or does Seth retain here? What do you think?
I don't trust WWE enough to give Shinsuke the win. When he debuted on the main roster, circa 2017, 2018, it was like, this guy's going to be huge. Every time that we've come close to a push, they've disappointed us. Not to say that I think I'm completely ready for Shinsuke to take it at this point. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, I thought it was going to be Balor, and I'm not going to predict that the immediately next challenger is going to win the belt. Therefore, I am predicting Freakin' to win.
I'm predicting Nakamura, and it's a bit out there. I wouldn't say it's my most confident prediction of this card, but I have a suspicion, and it's purely based on the fact that they've sold the back injury. So I see him either winning or after a grueling battle, maybe Damian Priest comes out and cashes in, and it gives Seth Rollins a chance for a
Mm,
break.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Good prediction.
But I think, especially since now they've made it public, that it's not worth having Seth Rollins wrestle just for however long it takes. I think it sounds like they might be giving him sooner or later some sort of rest time to actually heal up a little bit, and he'll probably want to time it out so that he's well and truly safe for Mania. So I've got Nakamura winning here. I could also see Priest cashing in here.